Have you ever been into a grocery store and you've seen where parents have lost control of their children? I know I have. There have been numerous times where I've gone into Kroger just to run a quick errand and I can hear screaming coming from the other side of the store. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, what are the parents doing? And the parents aren't doing anything. They're too scared to do anything. They're scared that if they discipline their child in public, that someone's going to come and take them away. Parents need to set boundaries for their children. Children love, love to test the boundaries of their parents just to see how much they can get away with. And if the parents do not set these boundaries, then the children will grow up without boundaries. And parents will start to lose control of their kids. There's a few years back where I had the great honor of serving on the grand jury. And during my 3 months, we were introduced to the family judge. This is the person that decides what the difference is between abuse and discipline. I asked the judge, what is the difference? What is going too far? There is a difference. We, as a society, need to know what the difference is between abuse and discipline. We need to set boundaries and not cross lines. There are different forms of abuse and discipline. There's discipline for adults. This can be at work, if you've received your write-up, or if you're at home and you forgot to do a chore. So the next week, when you're assigned your chores, you are given an extra one. That's a discipline at home. There is abuse of power. This is a form of abuse. Breaking news! The mayor spent half the city's budget remodeling his bathroom. Abuse of power. Or how many times have you been pulled over for not using your blinkers or not wearing your seatbelt or even speeding? And then a few days later, a police officer drives by you breaking the speed limit without his lights on. Or you see that he doesn't have his seatbelt on, or he cuts in front of you without using his blinker. This is also abuse of power. There's also abuse of people. It can be between children and parents, adults and adults. It can be private, it can be public. The private is normally referred to as domestic abuse, and it happens normally in the household. Public is more commonly referred to as assault. And assault can be as simple as someone spitting on you. People get abuse and discipline mixed up. In today's world, people are so scared to discipline their children because they are scared that someone will say they are abusing them. Sometimes a child needs a spanking. But if you leave black and blue marks all over them, that is abuse. Discipline can come in many forms, and it can happen in many places. Abuse also can come in many forms and also happen in many places. So you might be asking yourself, where are some of these places where abuse and discipline can occur? And if you're not asking yourself, I'm going to tell you anyways. Discipline can occur at work. Don't like to admit it, but I have received 1 or 2-ish write-ups. This is discipline at work. When your boss comes to you and says, hey, you did something wrong, they can give you a write-up. Sometimes people's hours get cut down. Sometimes you're put on to an action plan. All of this is discipline at work. There's also discipline at home. It normally happens between children and parents more than it does between adults and adults, but it does happen between adults and adults. Children, you got timeout, you got counting to 3, or who has had their entire name called out by their mother and knew that something was about to come up? Kerrigan Nicole Butler, get your butt over here. You better believe that she understands that she is about to have some type of discipline happen to her. There's also abuse at home. Has your loved one or your spouse ever called you stupid or even hit you for no reason at all? There's verbal abuse, and there's also physical abuse. And if you're in this situation, get out. You don't deserve it. Now knowing the differences between discipline and abuse, we can set those boundaries needed in our lives. There's a line that can be crossed, so don't abuse that line. No one deserves to be abused in any way, so stand up for yourself. Take action to remove yourself from the situation, or at least reach out and get some help. In order to avoid discipline from others, you need to discipline yourself.